My name is Ebony Tate, and I'm here with my beautiful friends, Reve Van Croft and Gloria. Alrighty, so let's get to it. Our topic for today is dating. And the first question I have for you ladies is, has dating changed over time? And if so, what ways has it changed?
Yes, it has. It has changed definitely um, over time. At least at least from what I can think about when it comes to like my parents um, when they were dating. It kind of wasn't dating. It was like I believe they got engaged within 6 months of knowing each other,
Oh wow.
and then they got married not too long after that.
Hmm.
So, and they've been together for like 33 years.
Oh wow, that's so
So
beautiful.
it has definitely changed. I say it all the time. I feel like it went from not really dating to dating to not really dating again in like during this generation.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
I think.
It feels more like the talking stage is supposed to be the dating stage, but I don't know what it is. And then there's the situationship, so you're not in a relationship, but you are kind of sort of committed to someone.
Yeah.
It's very odd, and I don't know how we got into that, but I think that's just something that it's almost to be able to say like, I'm on the fence, but I want to still have options, but I still want to keep you around just in case the other options don't pan out.
Yeah, and like I've also seen like situations where people like they meet people and within like a couple weeks like they're together in a relationship and they get to know each other while saying that they're in a relationship. It's like weird. Like basically getting with a stranger like, all right, let's just be together. We'll just get to know each other while we're in this relationship. So it's not like let's just be friends first. Let's go out on dates and get to know each other. That way, it's like we'll do all of that, but we're gonna claim each other.
Yeah. And I heard the term like some people would say like, oh, after the third date, we together. Like I'm like, hold on. You count like it's a number of dates you even go with to determine whether or not you all are a couple or not. Yeah, some people go with the whole just dating one person type of thing, and some people do the multi dating situation where they date multiple people and then they fizzle out. I guess that helps fizzle out like all the ones that aren't for them, and they just decide to go with who's the best option. But I think that can get a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
That can get a little tricky because it depends on what the other person wants.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the other person like just want to pursue you, and they might think you're about games because you're dating, more than one person.
I mean, I think that's where you need to be transparent, and if that is what I personally would just date one person. I just, the mental, the emotional, all the other different like energies that would go into like, and also just like, who knows how many, what if you got 10 different guys? Can you remember all of them? I mean, if you can, more power to you, but I'd have been like, I'd have done messed up somebody's name and someone would have got mad. So for me, I'm like, I would prefer just to date one person at a time. And that's just how I operate. But if you want to date multiple people, make sure that other person recognizes like, you're not necessarily on a roster, but I'm not just focused on you, I'm focused on other people.
I've been on like I've done it both ways. So like I've done the just dating like just that one person, and I feel like sometimes when you just date that one person, it could kind of be like you putting all your eggs into one basket for you to have to cancel that person out and then start all over. Mm-hmm. Versus when you're dating multiple people. Like I've dated multiple people before, but it was at most like 2 people at a time because I can't handle like two, like 4 or 5 people. Like that's too much. I've dated 2 people at the same time, but I also let them know that like you're not the only person that I'm talking to because we're dating. And I mean, my situation turned out fine. I mean, I'm not with any of them now, but it turned out fine. And when one didn't go right, I still had the other one, you know, to go off of and date. And it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But like I said, well, like you said, like there should be like a limit to how many people like that you date at one time, because there is no way you can date 5, 6 people at the same time. Like I feel like that would be too much.
And I think men do it though, and I'm like, how?
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is the definition of what is dating. Like, I guess to me, I'm thinking along the lines of just like going out, spending time together. But someone else's version of dating could include that, but also could include like sex, could include treating that person as if that is your significant other, even though you're not really their significant other. Like, you have other people that you're talking to. So I think that also comes down to like being clear about like what does dating mean to me versus what it means to you. Because if we're like, let's date, they may think like, okay, that means, you know, if I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what it is, because we're dating. But you could be like, no, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's a booty call. I don't.
But
that's
a booty call. But if they,
that's a linker. That's a sneaky link.
No, because if they're like, I'm dating you, I take you out. Why can't I have sex with you? So I mean, you have to also keep that in mind. Like, what as an individual you may think dating is, what does that other individual think it is? Yeah,
it always depends on a person. Like, it depends on the individual.
And I think, like, to piggyback off of what you were saying, we also have to let, like, whoever, the person that we're dating know, like, just because we're dating or you taking me out and doing these things doesn't necessarily mean that I'm having sex with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that needs to also be established, like, before actually dating that person.
Yes.
Which should lead to the question of, like, what are things that you need to say up front before dating a person? Like, what is it that...
That's true. What's your standard?
What's your standard? Like, what do you want out of this? Like, before... Because I hate my time being wasted. Don't waste my time. I tell you up front 101. Look, I'm a single woman. I want to eventually establish a relationship that could eventually lead down to marriage or whatever your end goal is. I let them know that ahead of time. So if that's not your end goal, just leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. Like, I let them know that ahead of time so that we don't waste each other's time.
But you can say that, and they'll still be like, yeah, we're on the same page. And then later on, they'll be like, well, no, I'm not in the headspace for that. And then you have to remind them, like, no, because we talked about this. So you were in the headspace then. What changed now? Because I was up front. Don't, like, you know, like you said, don't waste my time just because you're like, well, I might have the opportunity to get something out of this without giving 100%.
Yeah, and that's what we have to really, like, as women, stand on our morals and stand on what we believe and what we feel and our expectations and our boundaries. Like, we have to stand on that. Don't let someone else's switch up cause you to switch up your standards.
Yeah, and for me, it's about the honesty. Like, you know, some people just feel like, you know, some people just feel like they have to lie in order to get the things that they need or get their needs met when it comes to like a situationship or a relationship or anything. And it's like, you don't have to lie. You never know what a person will accept when it comes to the relationship. Like, if we know it in the beginning, it's like, you know, it's cool as long as you're transparent about it, or as long as I know where we're at. Like, if we're on the same page, that's one of the most important things when it comes to dating to me. Because I'm like, if you're dating other people, I'm gonna see other people too. Like, I'm gonna explore my options. Like, you're not gonna think like you can do all this and I'm just gonna sit here and be like, oh, I love you, I'm into him, I hope for this, I hope for that. No. You know, I just rather be like, I love the honesty. I respect the honesty more. You know, don't lie and then it leads up to, you know, it being nothing, and now I'm back at square one and you're progressing in your dating life or whatever the case may be. Like, you accomplished your goal with me, so it's just like you gotta, you know, you just want to move on from that, and I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. Like I feel like when it comes to dating, generation wise, I feel like I don't know the new generation. I don't know. It's like
It's different.
It's kind of fast paced. It's kind of
Yeah.
you
It's
know.
different. It's very different.
Yeah.
Like I was trying. I wouldn't even say I was dating. Well, I was getting to know a guy who wanted to date me, but never took me on dates. And we were talking for like months. And I'm sitting here waiting, like, okay, like, is he gonna ask me on a date?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I do my check-ins, like, hey, like, is this still what you want to do? Do you still want to date me? Yes, I want to date you. Like, I'm very interested in you. I said, well, we haven't dated yet. Like, when are we going to date? Oh, I'm not a planner. And it's just like, okay, like, I don't know if this is like generational or like social media. I don't know if social media has played a part with like dumbing down dating or something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But I just, like, at that point, I was just like, I need you to be honest with me. Be honest with me. Are you still interested in me? Are you still interested in dating me? Yes, I am. Da, 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 da. But still no date.
Right.
Like, and then you'll get mad if there's no more communication between us.
Right.
I'm not taking that. Like, if you really want to date me, you would have, like I told him, I even said, look, I know he has a child. He's a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we can go have a picnic. You can bring your child with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can do something slight. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. I'm not that type of girl. I mean, I like nice things. That's cool. But I'm also not opposed to picnic dates, walks around the park, something like general like that. And I brought that to his attention. You know what? You right. Cool. Months later, still nothing.
Yeah, it's like when your actions don't align with what you say, it's not valid. Like, why should I sit over here and believe? That's what I don't understand about some people. They give you this sense of hope that something is going to happen, that something is gonna lead into something serious, and it just doesn't. That thing make me sick. So now that just make me think like, okay, so you got ulterior motives. So it's like if you're not having sex with me or whatever the case may be, you're not gonna do your part.
I think that's where you have to kind of, I know we've already said like we're as clear as we can be with the communication, but maybe it comes down to not necessarily nagging, but being like, hey, here's the timeline, because this amount of time has already passed.
Yeah.
And nothing has happened, nothing has transpired, and trying to give you as much grace as possible. This is the timeline you have to kind of like, if you are for real about what you're saying, here's the timeline that you have to be able to act on what you're saying. And once that time has come, and for me, I would have been like, I'm just gonna tell you this. I want to be clear. You heard me. You got it. All right. I'm not saying anything else. When that time has come and gone, I'm gonna be gone. And then you don't have to worry. And if you have questions, reflect back on the conversation that took place, and make sure for the next woman you don't waste your time. Like, that's just how I feel about it. Like, I'm not your mother. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Yeah, I was just so disappointed because, like you said, like you just had so much hope in it. Yeah. Like this person, I felt like could have been it. Like when I say like we like everything, like all of our likes were like the same down to music, going to concerts. Like we really love doing the exact same things, love the exact same artists. Like we both have foundation with like church and Christianity and things like that. So I'm like, oh man, like this is a good one. Like okay, I can see it. So like it's like you get your hopes up, and I can't even get a date out of it. It sucks. It makes you just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill on this dating thing. Like because this dating thing is not like how it used to be. Like people don't date the same anymore. It's just really different.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just date for the sexual part of it. Unfortunately.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, from what I've seen and experienced.
But you know what? It's like that because women are doing it. Like
that's true too.
Women are doing it. There's women out here that are willing to do it. And if you're not that woman that's willing to do it, then find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So where does that leave the woman that don't?
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I feel like the picture can be painted that what is out here is all you have to choose from, and this is it. So if he is like, I won't say at the bottom of the barrel, but if he's just a little bit better than like whatever else is out there, you should be happy with that. So if he does want to have sex and you don't, or you want to wait, or you want to establish a more intimate emotional connection and he's not into that, you should be happy that, you know, he's even paying you any mind. And so you have to really recognize, like, no, there is a man out there that feels the same way as I do, and I have to just wait. And so maybe that means you'll have to be in a season of singleness and just kind of establish, like, okay, what is it that I want? What is it that I need to work on for myself and focus on? So that way, I'm attracting the right kind of man. Because who knows, like, what if there's something we're doing, you know, unconsciously that's attracting certain men that were like, I don't want that kind of guy, but for some reason that's what I keep getting. I don't know why. So maybe we got to work on ourselves, date ourselves a little bit, and then when we're ready to go back out there, we're a little more mature and we're a little more seasoned in our experience and knowledge, just for us in our who we are, to be able to understand, like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. And so when a guy comes around, you can really pinpoint certain things, especially like if there's certain red flags that you have seen in other men and you're able to see in this guy. And no, I don't think it's fair that you would be like, oh, well, the last guy did me dirty, so I'm going to treat you that way. I don't establish, or I don't try to have that kind of thought process, but I'm also not a fool. If I see a red flag, I don't need to wait and see, like, is it the same? It's the same red flag. So I'm good on it.
Red is red.
Yeah, those same patterns. It just pops up and it makes you disappointed in yourself, like, dang, like, like, did I really just, like, accepted that again? Like, that's just ridiculous. And then I don't like the situations where it's like you tell a guy it's okay to be honest. Like, just be honest. Like, you know, if you date other women, that's fine. I hate when they say that, oh no, but you know, I'm really serious about you, or I stopped talking to everybody else, you know, just to talk to you and this and that and the third, but they might have lied about it. Like, that's sad.
Either they lied about it, or they're making it sound like, I gave up so much just for you, you should be grateful.
Yeah.
I don't need you can go. No, the door. Right there.
That's
go
manipulation.
Ahead. Right, I'm like, the door's right there, go ahead and walk. I'm not stopping you. You want to go call shorty. Like, don't feel like I'm holding you back, because I'm not going to do that to you, so don't do that to me. That's some childish stuff. Go find somebody who isn't, go find someone young who isn't as experienced yet to be able to try and pull the wool over their eyes. Don't do that with me, because that's just disrespectful. Especially if I don't come to you with that kind of energy. Don't come to me with that kind of energy. Let's be adults about this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So how do y'all, like, are y'all into online dating? And if so, or if not, describe your experience, like, utilizing online dating.
I don't do that anymore. I used to.
Girl, I'm with you. I stopped.
Yeah. I don't. I'm just going to try and do it the traditional way. Let God take the wheel.
Okay, so tell me about your experience with it, and why y'all chose to do it. That's one of my biggest questions.
I guess to find somebody. I don't know. I mean, that it was just that is part of my generation, online dating. So with the advent of, like, the internet and social media comes online dating. And so, you know, people go out, but I feel like when people go out, we're still on our phones. Like, we have our group of people, but do we really go out where we're not on our phones, where I guess back in the, you know, 80s, 90s, where cell phones and whatnot, first of all, cell phones back then just purely called somebody. That's it. You call somebody, hey, I'm like in the middle of the road somewhere, can you help me? Outside of that, like, you just talking to the person around you. Do we do that anymore when we're out and about? Not really. We're taking pictures, we're on social media, we're, like, doing all this other stuff even when we're out. And then COVID happened, so nobody went anywhere. So now that we're back to being able to be out and about, I feel like for me, it's like, I'm not that into it, because I feel like when people are online, they're just trying to find, like, that person that they can be sexually intimate with. And I know for me, I've learned like sex is an emotional thing, and I can't just do that. I don't know how people can just do one night stands. If you can, more power to you. But I know for me, I can't. And so if I'm gonna share my body with you, it's you and me, and ultimately, I would like to be married. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take a cold shower if need be, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, for me, my online experience, the reason why I did it was because I'm shy when it comes to meeting new people, meeting new potential mates, that type of thing. So online dating was like a confidence boost for me. Like I had like, you know, just regular conversations that I could type. I don't gotta talk to you. Like that was the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best thing smoking.
You can proofread your stuff. Like, ooh, let me go ahead and spice this up.
Make sure my words right. I ain't misspelled nothing. But yeah, it was more so like a confidence boost for me, and it just seemed like it was more quicker because I didn't get the attention outside. Mm-hmm. Like nobody, like it wasn't like a man would approach me and be like, "Hey, my name is such and such." Like it was never like that. So online dating was just one of those things where okay, that man clicked liked on me, he liked me, this that and third. But it's like I did on like okay, so this is a secret too for y'all. Y'all know all my exes I met online, right? Mm-hmm. Like all of them. Yeah, my mama ain't gonna like that, but yeah, all of my exes since I was from 16 up until now online. It might have been one guy, but I wasn't in a relationship. We wasn't in a relationship.
I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of if you feel that way, because I'm sure you can just ask somebody random on the street, how many people have you dated from like an online app or something? And I'm sure they'll be able to tell you a good amount of people. So, I mean, and also got to keep in mind, like, you're shy. Like, if you don't go out there like that, and it also just depends on where you're going. Because, like, if you go to the club or whatever, sure, someone might hit on you, but why are they hitting on you?
Right.
It's not like, you know, you're at church or you're at a work function or something like that where it's a different caliber of man. Mm-hmm. You have to keep that in mind, too. Because you may get talked to while you're out and about, but what kind of man is it that's talking to you? Is it the kind of man where you can be like, yes, you may have my number, please do call? Or is it going to be like, no, I'm okay, I have a boyfriend, you don't have a boyfriend, or nah, I'm gay, you know, like something like that. Like, you have to keep that in mind too. If you're like, okay, I'm attracting the wrong kind of person, I don't want him, how do I like shrug him off real quick without being too rude? So I think that's something I should to keep in mind.
Yeah, online dating, my story is basically similar like to yours. Like, I don't get approached like out in the street, like, you know, like I literally find my people through online dating. I remember like back in the day, like remember like chat lines, like on the phone, like the chat lines, like I used to find, I should not have been on there, but like I used to find people on the chat line and things like that. Like, so that's always been my first interaction with men. Mm-hmm. And it's where I felt comfortable. Because like you said, like, it's behind a screen or it's on the phone. It's not like the first interaction was face to face. I felt safe meeting people like that too. And
you can control it a little bit better. And
then like, I don't go outside. Like, even like now, like, I'm rarely outside. Like, sometimes I might go out like here and there. But if it's not work, I'm inside. And my friend's gonna be all the time like, you need to go outside if you want to be approached. Da, da, da. Even if I'm outside, I still don't get approached. Like, it doesn't make a difference. Like,
for me, I get approached, but and not the right people. Like it's something always off. It's something always weird. I'm like, okay.
You have to like kind of question the intentions of the people that approach you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think that you would do that. Well, at least for me, if I still did online, I would still question the like why.
Of course.
Like, are you really? What is it like? Hey, beautiful, I saw your picture. You look so. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you. Now I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, what are you trying to get?
Yeah, but some people, they be like, what's up? I'm like, wait a minute, we
They don't even try.
Like, wait outside for you to do that. What's up, mom?
They don't even try sometimes, even through online dating. Like,
Yeah.
why are you hitting me up and the first thing you say is sup? S-U-P.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's up? Like, nigga, come harder. Like, is this all it takes for somebody to talk to you just to be like?
But I think also it depends because like sometimes when you give some pushback, if they feel like, oh, this is too much, like I gotta actually like come kind of sort of correct, they'll just like unlike you or something and move on to somebody else. And to me, it gives me clarity on like, okay, like clearly I can see what you were about. You were on like you just wanted to kind of like see if you could slide through, smash or whatever, and then keep it pushing, or maybe just be able to say like, okay, I have another girl that I have part of my rotation or whatever, or you know, that's what they're used to. Like, who is teaching these young men how to behave as young men? Where are they getting their examples from? Because if they don't feel like they have to really put forth any kind of effort when trying to approach and attract the opposite sex, if they just think like, oh, what's up, or hey, ma, or whatever, and in the moment that they get some kind of pushback, whether it's, you know, playful and flirty, or if it's like, you're like, I don't appreciate what you said, sometimes they can correct themselves, or they'll cuss you out, or they'll block you, or whatever. Who is teaching them these things? So that's something else you have to keep in mind, because they're learning it from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Something is indicating and directing them as to, this is how I'm supposed to approach a woman. This is what attracts a woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a question. What was the weirdest message you ever got from online dating from a person? The weirdest, like, because I know for me, the certain sites like Tag and I was
about to ask.
I was on online dating.
Y'all have been on.
Tag, Black Planet.
Oh, you took it.
Plenty of Fish. Cupid. Okay, Cupid.
I feel like I've been on every.
I've been every girl, Black Planet.
Yeah, POF.
I think there's Plenty of Fish.
Yeah, Plenty of Fish. Facebook dating.
I went on
Facebook
BLK.
has dating?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
They
have dating.
Is that new?
That was the last one I've been on.
Relatively new,
right.
But that was the last dating site I've been
Facebook
on.
was the last
After that one did not work, I cut off like dating online. I said I'm not dating online.
So I've done Hinge.
Hinge was actually not bad.
Hinge isn't bad. It's not met someone. And
yeah. I heard Bumble was good too.
Oh, I haven't done Bumble.
Bumble is better when you like get like their premium service. You know how they have like basic stuff, but then they were like, in order for you to get the most like good experience, you gotta pay
Christian Mingle out.
Match.com. See, I've never done like the commercial like online dating like Christian Mingle and Match.com.
I think I tried to do eHarmony when I was younger, and you have to do some kind of like not test, but you have to
survey or something.
Yeah, you gotta be approved, and I think did it stop? Oh,
no.
You wasn't approved.
Yeah, I think they was like thank you, but no thank you. I was like
how you want to deny somebody that?
Okay. Wow. But I was like, it's cool. I guess, you know, I wasn't supposed to be on there. But yeah, I've done like Hinge, Plenty of Fish, OK Cupid. Did I do Tag? I think I did Tag for like a hot second, but the people on Tag, I was like,
you know what? I was on Tag before it was considered a dating site.
Maybe that's what it was.
Because Tag wasn't considered a dating site
it was
until
it was like a MySpace kind of.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was. Because once I was like, some of these men are not they're not up to snuff. And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go on ahead and deactivate and keep it pushing.
What's the other one? The Smash site. The one like
Tinder.
Switch right.
Oh,
I've never done Tinder.
I've done Tinder. I mean, I haven't met anybody from there, but I think I'm trying to think. Was it some of the stuff might have been during like the whole like lockdown thing? So you were bored.
Yeah.
So I feel like there was like an uptick in people like, well, shoot, I can't go nowhere, so let me go online. So I was just like on it, but I wasn't seriously like, oh, I'm about to like meet somebody and do anything.
Yeah. What was the worst thing anybody like messaged you like on any like online dating site? I got a few.
I promise you, I can't remember. I must have repressed
really
it.
I got a few.
I really can't.
I really can't remember.
But I can't remember I met someone where like, I don't know if this is too much for your channel, but like he just wanted somebody just to watch him like masturbate.
Oh yeah,
Like
I'm sure I've gotten that. I'm sure I've gotten that, and I just was like, block.
I've gotten people from jail sending me messages.
That's the craziest thing. I'm like, how did they get phones in jail? But
They get
they
people
have
phones.
they have internet access like I don't know.
Bruh.
They
Like,
find ways, man.
even on TikTok, like TikTok has this whole thing like prison talk. Like, and
I think I did talk to somebody from prison one time, and he actually had me on video call, and it looked terrible where he was at. I was like, God, I think he was out of state. Oh, it was.
It's not funny. You was like, it looked terrible.
No, it was real dark.
I'm gonna pray for you, baby.
No, it was bad. I was like, why did I even call this man? Like, I knew this man in jail. Like, why did I call him?
that's crazy. I've never talked to someone in jail.
I did.
I don't think I have. If I have, they didn't tell me, so I can't say that I have.
Yeah, and another one of the craziest ones on top of my list was this white guy. He was another race, and he was like, I want to be your sex slave, and I want to wear pumps, and I want to be your bitch.
Wow.
Like, it was one of those, and I was like, oh no. And this was on Tag. Tag is like the nastiest site.
See, I'm glad that I'm not doing online dating anymore.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
if it's gonna come to me, it's gonna come to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I'm straight. I can't.
I think what has taught me, because I was like, I'm getting to the stage where I'm like, I do want to be married, I do want to have a family, and I'm like, but I can't just stay in the house. Because I do like being in my house. I am very much a homebody. The older I get, the more of a homebody I become. But I'm like, I do have to like get myself out there. So I try to like incorporate certain things that would kind of force me, because I get to work from home, so that's a blessing, but that also means that I don't have to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Unless it's like grocery shopping or something. So going out means I have to get dressed and like actually look presentable and like be prepared to engage and interact with people and be social for a little bit and just go from there. So I mean, I don't even know if this is like how, you know, our parents and our grandparents had to do stuff back in the day. I don't know, but I'm like, I don't want to do online dating anymore. And not to say like it's a bad thing. I know there are people who have found like their forever after that way, but I think for us, like, we've seen more of the bad side than the good. And maybe it's just the apps. Maybe we picked really bad apps. Maybe we were supposed to pay that premium. I'm not doing it, but maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm like, there is somebody out there for us. So I'm okay with trying to do it the traditional way. And hopefully
you know,
what happens.
it maybe it's just a part of our growing and maturing. Every single experience that you have when dating, even if it's just online dating, it's just experience that you gain. You know what to do, when not to do, what to look for, what not to look for. You know, it's a lesson learned. I just take it as that. Like, that was a season of my life. Like, literally, it was like a whole season of like online dating, until it got to the point where it's just like, you know what, maybe like my season is done with this. I've learned from it. And maybe it's time for me to just move on to a different chapter, whatever that chapter would be.
Right. Too many seasons, chapters, books. All my exes were online. I don't want to do that no more. I really want something different. Like, yeah, and for me, like the nostalgia of dating, like I've never experienced that. I never experienced that outside dating where it's like, oh, you know, I meet an attractive guy and we get to know each other. We go out and, you know, go on dates. Like, I've never had that dynamic. And, like, with all my relationships that I've been in, I always felt like I was always the only one putting forth the effort in the relationships. And all of my relationships are very much short term. It was like the last 2 relationships that I've had that actually had, like, some substance to me. And it lasted over a year. Like, before then, the longest relationship I ever had was like 7 months. That's terrible. So, yeah. So I just want to try a new way.
I would say this. I don't think I mean, obviously, you want it to last longer than 7 months, but a lot can happen in 7 months. Like you said, your parents met, and in 6 months they were like engaged, and then shortly after got married. So I don't think it's bad if you know the timeline seems like, oh, it's only this amount of time, and then we've moved on to the next stage. I think it is about making sure that you establish like what is the standards. Like each one of us has standards, and it's up to us to adhere to those standards. Sometimes, you know, not to say like a guy's gonna come up with a sob story, but some may come with a sob story that's gonna like kind of make you go like, well, he seems different. He has potential. At this point, you have to determine like, do you have time for potential?
Yep.
Do you have time for that? Like, we're getting to a certain stage in life where it's like, I'm glad you have potential. You should go and you should figure out that potential somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, what is your standard? What is it that you are willing to be flexible with? And then what is it that you're like, no, I can't, I'm rigid on this. Like, this is, like, we all have morals. If you are like, I don't want a murderer, and a murderer comes about and it's like, well, I used to kill people, but because I met you, I ain't gonna kill no more. Sir, no. Because you might kill me. So no, I'm okay. Thank you, but no thank you. Those are, you have your standards and you're gonna have to stick with them. Maybe he said, you know, I was addicted to porn, but you know, I'm really working on that. That's something that you could be flexible on, because we all have certain things that we struggle with. But you have to determine like, what is the thing that I am flexible with, and what is the thing that I'm like, no, that's a red flag. I'm sorry, you know, no, nothing against you, but I can't be your woman.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That was an excellent point. Yeah, because it seems like I always fall for the whole potential, because I think that's where the hope comes in. Like, you have that hope and it's like, okay, I'm waiting, and then that's when patience comes, when it's like it's
that
too
comes
much.
from being a hopeless romantic. I'm a hopeless romantic.
I am too, unfortunately.
I see the potential.
I'm working on it.
And I go into these daydreams of like the future of what like things
What
could
it could
look
be.
like.
Yeah, I do that too.
And sometimes like I try so hard not to. Like I try so, but sometimes I just can't help it. I feel like it's like a part of like my nature. So now I'm in that season of trying not to be a hopeless romantic, not trying to like see potential in people. It could be as early as like maybe like 2 weeks of like getting to know somebody. I could picture like literally like it's like a picture of like daydream about like about family or like dates, or it automatically goes to that.
But that's also if it's early on, like they're showing you the best side of them, so you're like, oh my gosh, he's perfect.
For
me, it take 3 months. That because I heard that 3rd month is when like your relationship becomes like it gets tested, and I also heard for men, in 6 months they know whether or not, like if you're with a man longer than 6 months, then he really does like have feelings for you. Or he's
well,
really
no, see, my
really
hopeless romantic comes in like before we even like. I'm talking about like in this dating like stage, like when I first like know someone.
Okay.
Not like actually in like the relationship. Like it usually happens like beforehand. Like I can see us doing this.
Oh, like so y'all kind of flirt and you're like, oh, okay, I know he kind of like me and I kind of like him.
Yeah, and then it's like I start like daydreaming of us. I don't know, like it could be as far as family life, like kids, or like marriage, or like it will go like that deep, and I'm like, that's like the potential, like you see like what the end goal can be like down the line, but you're not realizing and not going through, like y'all haven't even like dated for a couple times. My mind kind of just shoots there.
Yeah.
I think the other thing though, and it just popped in my head just now, like we're talking a lot about dating, but dating is, hey Ebony, hey Gloria, are you available? Do you want to go out? Let's go to the movies, whatever. And then there's courting, where it's like, hey Ebony, hey Gloria, I want to be with you, and I'm courting you because my intention is at the end of whatever the time frame is, whether it's an agreed upon or it's like, you know, when it seems appropriate, I want to marry you. Like, I think those things are different, and that's something that, you know, I think about, because dating is nice, but dating doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to
lead to a relationship.
Right. There may nothing of fruition may come from it, but with courting, with the courtship, like, that means, like, yo, I want to be with you. Like, I want to put a ring on your finger. I'm trying to put babies in you. I'm trying to be with you, see you old and wrinkly. That's like what I want. Yeah. So I think those are things you have to think about too. And so while yes, I would like to go on a date, and I would like that dating to become something serious. If I was ever to come across a man that was like, I want to court you seriously, and like he actually moves like he wants to seriously do it, that would speak volumes to me than just a guy being like, let's go on a date, and then maybe next week I hear from him, maybe, you know, something happens, like, you know, life is just busy. I get it's busy, but you prioritize what's important to you. And if, you know, dating or being in a relationship isn't quite a priority to you, that's okay too, but realize that I may not be here when you're ready to pick that back up.
Yeah. And I think like expectations, like like having too many expectations of somebody will easily lead you to disappointment. And that's something that I have to tell myself, like, don't expect too much, because that's when you'll get disappointed. Like in the end, like, you want to believe that these things are going to happen. You want to see these things happening for yourself, but once you put up that expectation and set it so high, when something doesn't go right, it crushes you. Like,
it makes you want to automatically put that person off.
Yeah.
Like, you just
That's why I started laughing to myself, because I'm like, sometimes I do that where it could be something where I'm like, oh, I don't like this, I'm done. I'm just done. And it's like, I have to like step back from my emotions and really try and be realistic about it, and try and be a little fair. Because I'm like, if this is just one thing that they did that I didn't necessarily like, but it's not the end of the world, do I really have to be done, or can I give them some grace? Because if it was reversed, would I want them to just cut me off? Right. Not necessarily. Because I mean, you have to think about it. Like, I think I remember, like, was it Steve Harvey? I think there was like, what, the 60-40 or the 80-20, where it's like the guy, and it's like, I'm not gonna get 100%, because no one is perfect, and no one's gonna get 100% of what they want. But if they can see they're like, I can see that I get the most out of what I want from you, and then like there's 20% where I'm like, I don't like it, but I can deal with it. Then I can do the same thing. And that's something I had to learn from, because when I was younger, I used to be like, nope, that one thing, I can't do it. And it's like, that's not realistic. Like, you can't be like that to people.
Yeah, and I'm also starting to learn that, like, when it comes to like the beginning stages of dating, I'm starting to learn that it's always best to ask the important questions early in the game, instead of just trying to go with the flow of things. Like, for me, I always felt like, you know, dating was just like, you know, going with the flow, seeing what you like, what you don't like, this and that and the third. But at the same time, like, it depends on your intent. If you want something serious in the long, you know, in a long line, you know, you have to express your feelings towards certain topics, and you have to see, you know, what man is up for the challenge, is up to answering the questions that you need answers for, you know, because some men don't even want to, you know, answer all of those questions. So that lets you know right there what they intended. You know, it's not for anything long term. It's just something, you know, and some men get insecure about that, and they feel like they in a corner, or they feel like they're on edge, or they feel like they're in the middle of an interview. But I'm learning, when you're dating, that's what that is. Honestly, you're trying to find a potential person, you know, to be in your life for the rest of your life, or however long you want them to be there. So yeah, you have certain questions that they, you know, feel like you should answer, and like, yeah, that's how I feel about that. Yeah, because some men get intimidated by certain questions, and it's like, you shouldn't. If you want something serious with me, or whatever the case may be, this shouldn't be an issue for you. This shouldn't feel like, oh, it's too soon, you know, like if it's too soon to ask that type of question or not. Yeah, that's what I'm learning. Do y'all feel like through and the use of social media has changed the dating world? And if so, how? Like how has it changed the dating?
I was gonna initially say changed it for the worse, but I'm sure there's good that has come from it. I just don't know right now. But I do feel like with social media, it's a lot of pretending.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's on purpose, cause like.
Sometimes.
Well, I would say I don't know if it's pretending because like you feel more comfortable behind the screen, and so it may not be you pretending necessarily. You just feel more comfortable. But there are people where they're like they clearly know like they're putting on a front that if they were face to face, they wouldn't be that way. So they have that protection of social media, and you can edit things however you want. So when you put out an image, maybe you had a big breakout, but because you know how to use Photoshop, you look great. And that's fine, whatever. I don't want to look ugly, so I'm okay with that. But at the same time, like, you don't want to put forth a product, I suppose, and then when someone meets you in person, they feel like, where is the person? Like, that's like going on, like, you meet someone online, and then you have a picture, and they're using, like, an old picture,
Yeah.
and then you meet them, and you're like, is this your grandson? No, that's me.
That's
Sir, no,
catfish.
it can't be you.
That
What are
is
you talking about?
Catfishing, yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure there are good parts that has come from technology, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm jaded and I'm skeptical, so I'm always like, I'm looking for the bad part, like, you trying to trick me, ain't you? But you're not going to get me. Like,
Yeah, it's weird because I'm trying to find an understanding of certain things. Like, I definitely agree with you saying about the pretending part, but it's like sometimes, like, when it comes to people, some people give you a certain version of themselves. Like, they don't give you the whole thing, just yet. Like, I don't know. I think it's the same in the outside world too, but the online, you are more skeptical of it because it's behind, it's behind, it's at a comfort of someone's home.
Right.
Technology to me, it definitely has changed to me in regards to the intent of the dating world, like how people want to date and who they want to date and what are they dating for. I think it really changes. Like, technology and social media is so instant. It's so quick to shoot a message to somebody, DM somebody. It's
slide in their DMs.
Yeah, it's quick to get a woman's or a man's number. Or, you know what I mean?
I think that also
it's that
something I
effect.
just thought about was that some men, I won't say all men, but some men, certain women present on social media about themselves, that is their thoughts as a whole about women. So if you see like the Instagram baddie, I don't have a build a body type situation, and that's great if she does. But also some of that is editing, and some of that is not going to realistically be what you get from a woman. And so I think social media has contributed to how men expect women as a whole. Like, the common woman isn't like an Instagram baddie. I mean, I think we're all beautiful in our own way, but we're not going to be built like, Kim Kardashian or Blac Chyna or someone like that. Because first of all, that their body isn't even realistic. Like, they had to have that specifically sculpted for them. And I think we're also coming to a time where we're able to kind of see, like, I don't want to say their bodies are disintegrating, but you're able to see, like, when they first got it, and now, like, 20 years later or so, you're able to see, like, that doesn't look as good. And so I think, like, the natural body thing is going to come back around where men are going to be like, oh, okay, what I thought I wanted in a woman, no, I don't, because that thing looks busted. And so I'm okay with, my woman to have stretch marks and, to have, a regular woman's body.
Yeah, and one of the things that really killed me is like the filters. Like when you do the filter, I don't do filters on my pictures at all.
I rarely, if at all, use filters. For what?
Because then when they meet you, they're going to be like,
that's not
right.
You don't got that same glow I saw on the
yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's cute or whatever, but most times they're exaggerated. It's not even like they slightly Like there's some like one on Zoom, you can do a touch up. So I do a touch up on my Zoom because I do Zooms, and I'm like, maybe that day I ain't wiped the crust out my eyes all the way. So let's do a little touch up. But it's not gonna be like if a coworker meets me in person, they're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know that was you. Like I look the same for the most part. So I think these filters are heavily exaggerated, which I guess that's the point and that's the purpose of them. But people will like have it where like they have the lashes and the little glittery things and all this extra stuff. And I'm like, it looks cute, but that's, if you shift your face too fast, we see it come off. So
the lash should be on your forehead.
Right. So I'm like, I don't think you should do that. But okay, if you like it, I love it.
Well, since we're talking about like technology, like as far as dating, I think it has made people who are interested in long distance relationships, it's made it a little easier for them because of FaceTime, things like that.
That's a good point.
I've seen different stories like on TikTok about like long distance relationships, and it goes well like for them. Like I mean to the point where like they'll go out on dates like with each other, but they're not together. So like they'll pick a similar restaurant that's in each other's town, and they'll FaceTime each other and order like off the menu, like so it feels like that they're there together. It's the cutest thing, and that's why I believe if somebody really wanted to, that they would, no matter what the situation is, and that helped instill in me, and it helped make me feel good knowing that if a man really wants something to happen, like they'll make it happen no matter what. Because if that couple can make it happen and they're miles away from each other and they're willing to put in the work in like that, like there's no excuse.
It really isn't.
There's no excuse for men and for people that are actually in the same city, like together. There's no excuse. I mean, I've seen they've had like movie dates. You know, now iPhone has, you can share your screen. You can watch the same movie together. Like things like that. Like,
different apps, I think, is it Prime, where you have like the party mode where if you wanted to like watch a movie, I think they did this during COVID, and so you could do a party thing. So you and your family who's separated, y'all can watch the same
movie together.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can do those things, and I think that also goes down to like when you were saying like after 6 months or something, that if a man is still with you, that means he really wants to be with you, whatever. Like he will put forth the due energy that is needed to make sure he's like, I want to be with this woman, and we're in different areas, but all right, I need to change something. Whether it's like I need to change my job, or I need to, you know, make more money so I can fly her to me, or I can fly to her. Like that's what I think. That's what a man would do. Like at the end of the day, because I don't know. For me, I just feel like a man is gonna. I get it. We're equal. Like I don't think that I should be below a man, but if I'm with a man, I want to feel like, you know, he's the leader.
Yeah.
That's how I feel personally. Like, and you should act like a leader accordingly. If you don't know how to be a leader, that's understandable, but that means you need to kind of find like really good representation and maybe get a mentor or whomever, an uncle, a father figure, or your father himself, whatever, and figure out like what does it mean to be a man, especially when you are in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah. I got a question. Do y'all feel as though that if a person, like, do y'all feel like a person's actions really tell you how they feel about you?
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
when it comes to dating and like relationships?
I think consistent actions, because sometimes you can tell them something and they'll do the action that one time,
Right.
and then later on they're like, but I did it. And it's like, you did that like 3 years ago. What does that mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
That don't
consistent.
even count.
Right. So like consistent actions mean something, and not having to consistently like say it. Like I get it. Like you may not like all the things I like, but if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna meet you halfway and, you know, do some of the things that you like. I may not necessarily like them, but because I know you like them, I'll do it. And here's some things I like, and you may not necessarily like them, but because you know I like them, you'll do it.
Yeah.
That's like, I appreciate that. So.
And it goes back to the situation with the dating that I had. Actions speak louder than words. You can tell me all day, yes, I'm still interested in you. Yes, I still want to date you. but you're not dating me. You literally have not taken me out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to believe? If that's not happening, that's like, I'm cutting that out. I don't believe you. Like, just leave it alone. Because you're not literally showing me, you're not even putting forth effort.
I think though some guys may think, well, I'm talking to you. We've been talking for 6 months. I know we haven't gone anywhere, but I've talked to you. I told you good morning every day for 6 months. I FaceTime you. And it's like, okay, thank you, but can we do something else? And even if it's like a money thing, like you said, we don't have to like go to like Ruth Chris. We could go do a picnic, or oh, you have a child. If you're comfortable with me meeting your kid, we can do something that incorporates your child. Like, I think it's an effort, because it doesn't have to be like every weekend. Yeah, you got things to do. I got things to do. But if I can set aside time for you, should be able to like set aside time for me and be able to like prioritize me. So I think that's something else you have to be clear, because some guys will be like, well, I talked to you. I texted you. What are you talking about?
Man, listen, I'm tired of good morning, what you doing text every single day. I need you to come harder than that. Like, I need a text that's like, hey, what you doing after work?
Yeah.
Like, I need something. Like, when it's just the same old thing every single day, it's like, come on.
Or even, not even what you're doing. Hey, after work, be ready at this time, where, if it's something nice, wear something nice, blah, 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 I'll pick you up.
That will do it. That will do it.
I mean, part of you be like, okay, well, you don't know what if I do have something to do, but you know what, I don't have anything to do, so I'll be ready and waiting.
Listen, even if I did have something to do, I don't gotta do that no more. Like,
be like, so
I can't.
be like, I was just gonna go grocery shopping, but as long as you feed me, I'll be alright.
Exactly.
I'll still wash my hair, but that's okay.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's actually simple. It's not hard. It's not hard. I feel like men make it more complicated than what it has to be.
Yeah, but I also feel like some of them are bad at it. Like, some of them are bad at executing like whatever plan they got. Sometimes it does go bad, but at the same time, try. It's all about the effort. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Like, it's not gonna be, everything not gonna be perfect. It's always gonna be trial and error and something. So it's like the effort for me is enough in itself. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I got another question. So what is y'all ideal date like? What kind of date, like, if y'all ever had to fantasize like the perfect date?
I'm really trying to think.
Like, what would y'all like?
I'm satisfied. Like, I don't want to say I'm not hard to please, because I don't want to make it seem like it's easy just to do anything.
Right.
But if we have conversations and you really pay attention to what I like, and you really plan the date based on what our conversations are, like, like, say for instance, like, I'm a music head, I love music, love going to concerts. If you be like, you know what, we're going out, I'm not going to tell you where we're going, surprise me with a nice Jill Scott concert or something like that, then we do dinner after, or dinner then the concert. Like, simple, it's simple. But it also showed that you pay attention and you listen to what my likes are, and you really took that into consideration. So simple things like that really will make my day. It doesn't have to be over complicated, I mean, a vacation would be nice, but like, just to start things off, just listen to my interests and basing the date off of the interest and what we had that discussion about. It will mean the world to me, because just knowing that you listened and you took that into consideration.
Is this a first date, or is this like we are kind of like in an established, like we are talking to each other, we are dealing with each other, so you know something about me and we're comfortable to a certain extent?
Well, we can do both. We can do both. I mean, me, I'm a little, y'all know me. I like. I mean, I like simplicity, but at the same time, like, if I just feel like I've never gotten, like, I'm a hopeless romantic, so I've never gotten the romance in a relationship. Like, I don't think I've ever. I had one person that had like the effort or whatever, but I paid for it. Like, it was from my money.
See,
so he
that
was
doesn't
creative with everything.
That doesn't count.
That don't count.
That don't count. Like, no.
See, that's what I'm saying. See,
Like, no. You can't be paying for it.
Yeah, you
like,
gotta
okay, like,
understand.
say like we were like, say like, okay, what my example was like, okay, like getting to know each other, like dating. But like, say if like we were actually together,
for a while.
maybe like planning like a little getaway, or even like a hotel room, you decorating it for me. You just surprised me with. I walk in and I see like balloons and rose petals and candles everywhere.
That's
like
nice.
I would love that because it would just be like you really put forth the effort. Once again, it's effort.
Mm-hmm.
You took the time, you decorated this whole thing, you planned out everything for me, just for me to feel special. Like in that moment, like it would mean the world, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. For a first date, I think it's a first date. So dinner, talking, something chill and simple like that. Like it doesn't have to be mad expensive, but like don't take me to McDonald's or like something like that.
I would hope.
But you never know. Like
I would hope.
you never know. So
I think that's common sense to not do
you
that.
I'm trying to think
you
if I had
never
that.
know. Take me somewhere where you have to like put some effort in like what you're wearing and you know maybe they don't have like a dress code, but you don't want to look like raggedy because they would definitely be like, we don't have a dress code, but we're like low key judging you. So take me somewhere you have to kind of like look nice, and you know it's not like I don't know, like don't take me to a Fridays, I guess.
That just brought up like a pet peeve. And I like dudes love wearing basketball shorts everywhere, and I'm like, please.
But why would
do
you wear that on
not.
a date?
I've seen it.
This is a first date? Like, if this is like, this is my man for 3 years, then maybe. But if this is a first date.
But even still, like, come
I
on.
mean,
like,
if
if you
Even
on
3
a
years. I
date,
don't want no 3 years.
don't
Well,
come
I don't
outside of no basketball shorts.
Unless
take me out.
Unless we going to the basketball court. Like, that's, I'm like, we going to dribble, shoot threes.
I've seen, like, people in established relationships for years, and everywhere, I swear, everywhere they go, basketball shorts. Like, nigga, put some clothes on.
Oh,
At least try. Don't look like you just woke up.
But
and
what
got
does she
the
look
bed.
like? Does she look like?
Like, yeah, like she dressed
bomb.
up and she put effort
Oh,
into
Oh,
it.
okay,
God.
then never mind.
But
I'm
then you
thinking
just
like they're
coming out
both
with
kind
like a
of chill.
t-shirt and like basketball shorts.
Oh, she was in love
With
with
like
him
the
then,
flip flops
'cause
with the socks on.
Oh no.
She
no.
was in love with him.
No,
Cause
no,
I,
no.
what?
Because I'm thinking they're both kind of like relaxed. So that's why I was like, well, if they're like 3 years in, but if she's actually like, she put makeup on, she's like looking nice, and he's just like, all right, got the keys, got his little Nike slides, and so I don't know, like, is your clothes in the trunk? Are you changing when we get there? You trying to keep it fresh to death? Like, what's going on?
Listen, these are real experiences.
That's
I've
Oh.
seen it for myself. Not mine, but other people's, and I just sit back and just be like, girl, if you like it, I love it, I guess.
I mean, but I've had situations though where guys only had a selective pair of clothes that they wear.
Over and over
Yeah,
again.
it look like a rotation type of thing. And I'm like, if you around my family and you trying to see people and you wearing the same pieces, it's bad. Like, no, I be having I have the weirdest relationship stories, and like my family be like, "Oh, he gonna wear that same shirt again? He gonna wear the same?" No, my family be joking. Like they be serious too. They
But that's why I started laughing because I was like, they trying to cook them, and they not trying to be mean, but it's just like, sir, like the last 3 times you came over, you was wearing that. And
Yeah,
we
my
was
family ain't right.
Like, we all took a
And I really
poll.
think it goes back to the common denominator of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because even if they're like, well, this is all I have, well, then you can save up some money. You can go to Goodwill.
Yeah.
You can get some stuff from there. Like you can get some stuff. Like you can go to the thrift store.
You don't go to work with basketball shorts and a t-shirt on.
Of course. Unless that job got a gym. The only way I see that working.
I'm just saying, like, if you was to go out with your boys, y'all go to the club or something, you not wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh, they gonna charge them extra for that anyway.
They're not gonna even let them in.
They're not gonna wear that because they're gonna be like, how we gonna get the shorties? So
Exactly. So how are you gonna put more effort into that versus when we go out? How dare you?
Right. So that means you got other agendas when you away from me.
Cause if you looking better for your homeboys than for me,
Oh yes,
that's
I might
an
be.
issue.
Yeah, that sounds a little.
That's an issue.
That sounds a little suspect. But yeah.
That's
Oh,
an
yeah, I
issue.
agree with that. Oh, I didn't say mine. Yeah, like I want a guy that's like well groomed, like dress up. I would love a man in a suit. Oh my god.
Yes.
Whew.
Oh, button up with
Man, a whole like it could be a whole. It don't even gotta be a whole 3-piece. But if y'all want to do that, do
I'm trying to
that.
think of where in DC that you have to be dressed like that. I'm sure there is a place, but I'm like, where do you go in DC where they're like strict dress code?
Park at 14.
Oh,
Or like steakhouses. You know, you can dress well for
just
those
show them where to
places.
go.
It's okay. I don't either, but I've gone out enough to know like Park at 14. Like they don't play about their dress code.
Yeah, or sometimes some hotels they do like the rooftop thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys at the happy hour, they going to that rooftop getting some drinks.
But see, that's where I guess the certain caliber of men you'll get because they would have that 3-piece suit, and that's like they would already know like. They might not even have gone, you know how when we were like in college and we'd be like, okay, what's the dress code for the club? So we would read it so that way we could see like, oh, can we wear X, Y, and Z? Like that's just what they wear. Like they don't even need to like check it. They're just, that's what they wear the day to day. So they're like, yeah, man, after work I'll meet you there. They don't have to change because they're like, this is just what I do. Like I wear this is me, boom. So I think that also goes to the caliber of man that you might want.
And I think it's also about matching flies, like matching each other's fly. Like you want me to dress up, put on heels, and weave down my back, but you're coming outside like that. That doesn't match up. And I think it's vice versa too. Like us as women, we want the fly man with the suit, with the wave, like nice haircut with the tie. But we coming out in t-shirt and jeans and sneakers. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I need you gotta match each other's fly.
Like he was gonna add a bonnet to it, but I'm glad you didn't say that.
Oh, some people do.
I mean, if you want to, I think I've outgrown that stage in my life. And I'm like,
I don't come outside in no bonnet.
No, and I
I'm
love
not
dressing
gonna knock
nice.
y'all, but like I don't. I don't come outside in a bonnet.
I mean, I do around here. That's the hood. They don't care.
I wouldn't even do it. I just feel like it's don't even establish the habit, so I don't even do it.
Like even if I go, even if I order like Uber Eats or DoorDash to my house, if I have a bonnet on, I take my bonnet off to go get my food from outside.
If
like,
push comes to shove, I'll put a hat on. Like I'll put a hat on, or if it's cold, like I have like beanies, I'll put that on.
Yeah.
But a bonnet. Like if I do, I must have forgotten. I must have been real comfortable and forgotten that I have snow on my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Let me hurry and get back in the house.
I don't do it all the time. And then, that's another thing too, because sometimes like I be taking out the trash, I'll put on a good like a regular like wig that I would wear like every day, and my mom like, I know you ain't wearing no wig to dump out the trash. Yeah, people come around that corner. Yes.
You just never know who you gonna bump into.
You never know. You could be your future.
And you never know, the Uber Eats guy might be fine.
Yeah.
What? I was like, oh, he gonna like me at my worst. So I had his head on.
I've had that happen to me before when I went to go get food and like he tried to kind of talk to me, but he was just like, "What you doing in there?" Like, it was kind of creepy though.
Yeah, that's creepy.
But you could tell he was trying to. Yeah, he was like, "What you doing?" It was creepy. I had to report it and everything. Long story. That's
Because I'm living. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he was like,
I'm trying to get something to eat, but you're asking all these questions.
Yeah, like, so I had that happen. But it just goes to show you, like, you can try to get talked to, like, anywhere, like, at any time. You know, so I try to look at least decent.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. So do y'all prefer to multi-date or focus on one particular person?
Well, we kind of touched on that earlier, but like I said, like I've been on both sides of it, really.
I prefer one person at a time.
Yeah. Do you prefer one person at a time?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Actually, yeah. After doing both, I do prefer just going one at a time. Even though it sucks when that person doesn't, it doesn't, when it doesn't go
work out.
anywhere.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I did try to multi-date before. Like I did the most was 2 men. But then, yeah, I started feeling the other one over the other one. So it was just like, okay, well, I'm going to just get, say it's over with the other one and get with the person that I actually like. And then that person I actually like, it just doesn't work out for me. And then also it's the thing where it's like, you ever felt like dating the other person meant you felt like you was cheating? Like you was cheating on the other person, even though y'all weren't in a relationship at all, or anything. Like,
I get it.
I don't like to feel like that either.
Because even if you're transparent and you're like, well, just so you know, like, I would rather focus on one person at a time. But if it's clear, like, we're not exclusive, where we're still, like, trying to figure things out, I still would be like, just so you know, if someone comes along and, like, asks me on a date and I'm interested in them slightly, I'll go on a date with them and I will let you know. So I'll be as transparent as possible. And whether that will kickstart them to be like, oh, snap, somebody else is actually interested in her. Because that's not the intention of me telling you. It's not to, like, get you jealous and be like, oh, let me get myself together. It's more just like, hey, I just want you to know, like, so that way you don't feel no kind of way if you decide to be like, hey, can I take you out this day? I'm like, oh, I'm already, got plans. I'm finna go on a date myself. Now you know. And if you want to, like, get your act together, get your act together. And if you don't, well then, there's people out here clearly that are interested in
me. Yeah, that's for me, that's a hard conversation to have with a person, because it's like, yeah, you may have feelings for that person, but at the same time, if he's not meeting your needs, and then you're also scared of the reaction from the guy too. Like, it's like, I don't want you to go nowhere, but at the same time, like,
I mean, if he leaves
if you
because
feel
of that,
away because I'm dating someone else, yeah.
Like, because I don't feel like you should feel shackled to, I don't even want to call it a relationship, because if you're not even clear, if it's a relationship, then you don't have to worry about anything. You guys are established, it's very clear. But if he's kind of like, and sometimes guys do that where they're like, I'm still trying to figure things out, but I know I like you, this, that, and the third. You need to figure it out a little bit faster, because time is a wasting, and I don't got time to waste with you. So what's happening here? Because if someone else comes along and they know what they want, why am I going to sit there and put them on the shelf because you and I have history, but you still are trying to figure out what it is you need to do in your life? Do that by yourself. Don't do that with me. I'm not your mother. It's not my job to help you. I'm not going to hold your hand through that.
Yeah, and then it's the guy that's not that open and honest. Like, they'll say, like, well, you're the one I'm interested in. I'm truly interested in you. And then it's like, then you feel like you're stuck in a situation. So, like, do you still want to go out on a date with that other person, or do you want to work things out with the guy? Like, that's where it gets sticky for me. Like, I don't even know how to I don't even know how to turn that around. Like, I don't know what I would do in that type of situation. Like, that's when things get kind of sticky for me. But I think I will have to figure that out. And I think it comes down to, like, you knowing your worth and you knowing what you want in that point in time when you want to date someone or you want to be in a relationship with someone. And you probably got to, do the pros and cons thing where it's like, what is he doing that's making you want to stay or just want to talk to him and only him, versus what he's telling you. Yeah. So, and you all's opinions, does outer appearance and sexual chemistry plays a part when it comes to dating a potential mate? Like, would you count it as like a standard, or
So I would say yes and no. Yes for the outer appearance, because I mean, when you look at someone, that is usually what initially attracts you to them. So I mean, by default. Now there are some people I'm sure that are not super attractive, but their personalities are great, and so if you're able to, like, be around them and get to know them in that way, then you may be like, nah, your outer appearance. and I don't know if you mean like naturally they are aesthetically pleasing, meaning they are an attractive person, or they know how to dress themselves so they're not going to embarrass you. Don't embarrass me with your clothes.
I say both.
Okay, so I mean yes and no. Sexually, I don't plan to have sex. I don't plan to have sex until I'm married. So to me, I'm like, that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna have to pray that you know what you're doing, and go from there. So sexual, and I think like sexual chemistry can play a factor without having sex. So you can have that sexual chemistry and not have sex.
That's true. The reason why I asked that is because like some people just try to say, oh, everybody always gotta go for looks and all of that stuff. Like, why you can't just go with the personality? Why you can't go with how the person treats you? This and that and the third. I was like, but
you have to be attracted to something.
Yeah.
And initially, it's what you see. Especially men. Men are visual creatures. Like, but I think as people in general, even us as women, we see something. We're drawn to them because of what we see.
Yeah, and I also feel like with women, so male and females, I feel like we're both visual creatures, but in different ways. Like women, we go by mostly how men treat us, like how we say like their actions tell us how we feel about them. Versus men, they automatically like, okay, I see you, like your features, how you present yourself, how how you stand out amongst people, that sort of thing.
I think the other thing is like innately, women and men, when we see a guy and we're attracted to him, deep down, like we're like, we can procreate with you and we can have healthy kids, you can protect the home. Like there's something like innate in us that makes us attracted to that man. And then as time progresses, we'll be able to assess better, like, nah, he's a bum, so he can't provide, or I thought you was cute, but that was because I was drunk and like far away and I squinted too hard, so you're really not that cute. I don't know.
Right.
Like, so those are the other things, because I think men are the same way. Like, yes, they're visual and they'll look at us, but they're also innately assessing, like, can she give me kids? Can she give me healthy kids? Is she, healthy? Does she look unhealthy? Or, X, Y, and Z. So science kind of plays a factor into that too.
Yeah. And also with men and women, it's like, what I'm trying to say. With men and women, it's like, when it comes to like the physical appearance, when you first initially meet somebody, you can only go off of that for real because you really don't know that person. Y'all don't know each other. So I feel like that it does play a part.
It does. Yeah, it does. But the crazy thing is sometimes you can think like, oh, he's fine, and then you get to know him, his personality just makes him ugly.
Yep.
You can make the finest man just turn ugly, like in a split second.
Yeah.
I've had that literally happen to me.
And what is it about a person's personality that will make you feel like, okay, that makes them look ugly?
Well, I guess using an example, like I was dating someone and he was fine to me, like, but he turned out to be kind of bipolar, like controlling. Like I can sense there was like an underlying control issue that could possibly happen, and I had to cut that off from the start because, like, even though I have a lack of experience when it comes to dating, I know better than that, and that was a red flag that I just had to shut down immediately. I don't care how fine you are.
Yeah.
And maybe it could have been a sense of like, because maybe because men would do this too, they will prey on they would prey on women that, I don't know how to explain it, like, he would be a guy that I didn't think would actually want to talk to someone like me.
I get it.
But sometimes they use that.
Like you should be grateful or something.
Yeah, like you should be grateful that I'm talking to you. And then they use that and try to do like some control and shit. And no, I don't care how fine you are. I would rather be by myself than to deal with that.
Yeah.
And some women don't have that strength to cut that off immediately because they just feel like this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. I gotta take advantage of this, like no matter what. No, you don't have to deal with that.
Right. No.
At all. Because if it happened once, it can happen again. And it could be the right situation. Like, so I had to nip that, but like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't want it. I'm straight. You fine, but that right there just made you the most ugliest person in the world to me.
Yeah, I don't like the controlling person. I don't like the cocky person. Like the person that think that they're above you. That is a pet peeve of mine when it comes to dating. Like you're really doing me a favor, or like you feel like your bare minimum help me, or help the relationship, or help this relationship have some type of substance or something for me to hold on to. The hell no. Turn off. Yeah, like for me, it's like if a guy don't, they feel like you spending more time with your friends than you do your man or your person. For me, it's like, well, give me something to stay for. Cause like no, you know for real.
I'm not laughing at y'all because I was like, dang, she snapped.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like
I'm
like, so what are you doing?
Me stay there.
Yeah, like what are you doing for me?
Make me want to stay in the house with you.
Yeah, if you're a homebody, that's fine. Be creative. Hell, babe, I did a game night. Hey, babe, you want to watch movies? Hey, babe.
And if he knows that you enjoy being with your friends, and I'm sure he would have his own friends, he could be like, all right, once a week we could do like a friend thing where we like bring our friends here and we do it together. So that way our friends get to know each other's friends, and that also would help strengthen your relationship, because not that if you're when you're in a relationship that if something goes awry you're supposed to tell other people. You probably shouldn't, because by the time things get better, our thoughts are like, he's terrible, I hate him. You're like, nah, it's not that bad anymore. But it would help strengthen it because, you know, it's such close ties with everyone. So if he recognizes like, okay, she really loves her friends, and you know what, I can, once a week, I can do that. You know, they can come over here, or we can rotate it so it doesn't always have to be here, and we can do something together. Things like that. Those are like the little things though, and I feel like sometimes guys don't realize that. Like they think it has to be some kind of grand gesture, and it's like, it really doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It's literally just the little things. Like, just something like that.
Yeah, I don't like the guy to be like, oh, it's okay for me to do this, but it ain't okay for you. Like, it be...
Last thoughts on the dating thing, like, what's your status? You know, are you looking for anything? What's your status? You can go around. You don't have to do this alone.
Well, my status is I am single. I've been single since August, so I'm newly single. Not sure if I'm looking for a relationship right now. I'm working on the inner self with me. I've been taking therapy, so therapy has really been helping me a lot with connecting the dots between my family life and my relationship life, my love life, my life with my friends, and boundaries and things of that sort that I have to set, and standards that I have to set for myself to become the greatest version of myself for me and for everyone around me. And not just giving people certain versions of myself, like giving people my whole self. Like, you know, that's really what I'm currently working on. And even I'm working like on, when it comes to like whether I'm in a relationship or not, I want to always practice self-care, because sometimes when I get in a relationship with someone, I could get lost in them and I make it about them. So I have to work on finding a balance between, you know, not neglecting myself for the sake of others. So that's good. That's my status. What's your lady's status?
I'm single as well. Since, I guess around the same time as you. Single since like August.
Okay.
I think right now I'm more focused on my relationship with God. That's kind of like really what I've been like focusing on. Like, especially because when I was deployed, like I wanted to do that, but it's a different. You're in a very different headspace when you're like deployed and you're not in your regular like routine. So coming back home and being able to like have control of what like where I live, my job, and like doing my own thing. And now that I'm out of the military, I'm like I don't have to worry about them saying like, okay, you're on a mission, or I need you to come in this weekend or whatever. I know like my time is my time again. And so I just kind of focus on God, and while I do want to be in a relationship, I'm like, I have to kind of like focus on what is it that you want me to do, God? Because clearly my choices in men never were very good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be single.
Mine either.
So clearly, I need to let you take control of the situation, and prayerfully, it won't last. My season of singleness won't last too long. But if it does, like that's okay too. Right now, I'm just kind of like. I think what I'm really trying to do is making sure like those times when you get into the fantasy, I think that's when you'll be like, you know what? Maybe I could just like go on an online dating app, or maybe I can just like talk to this person. And it's like, no, you gotta stay firm, because like then you'll go right back down into that like spiral, and then you're right back where you started. And so I'm trying to really focus on like, no, don't move in that direction. Move towards God and like what He's asking you to do. Like it's difficult, but at the end of the day, like His plan always is better than any plan I could have come up with. So that is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you gotta seek God in all the things that you do.
Yes.
Yep, seek Him first. So what's your status in this school?
My status, I mean, I'm single. I've been single technically since 2014. So like in between all that, just been dating, like and stuff like that. I'm at a point now where like I think I was so worried about dating and being with someone, I was just searching and seeking. Now I'm just stepping back and just being like, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna press the issue. I've been dating myself, like making myself feel good, treating myself to things. And not waiting on no man to do it for me, traveling on my own, like taking myself out to concerts and stuff, things I like to do. So that's just what I've been doing. I'm not opposed to meeting, anyone. If someone was to come along, try it out, things like that. No more online dating though, absolutely not. I'm staying firm.
Me either. We all on a consensus with that.
But yeah, single, not necessarily looking, but willing to date whenever it comes.
Yeah, I will sprinkle a mingle or two,
Yeah, I was thinking like I've never done speed dating, but I'm like I feel like speed dating is probably. I mean, at least that's in person. I mean,
that's true.
From what I've seen on TV, I don't know what it's really like.
I actually thought of doing that, but then. Now that I'm older, I don't even think about it no more. Like I just want the nostalgia of dating to happen. Like I want to meet somebody at some random ass place.
Like at the grocery store or something.
Yeah, coffee shop. We could do a little, open mic. At a kickback somewhere. I can meet a person through a friend. Anything like that. I do take myself out on dates, or I go out with my girls and go to a restaurant, catch up on life. Just good vibes. Yeah, just doing different things. So I've been going to a lot of art galleries and stuff like that. So just different things that's outside of the norm for me. I tend to go for. So, and I'm going to continue doing that throughout this journey. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. That's our first video, y'all. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the Mastering Me channel.
Make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Yes, give it a thumbs up. Please comment, share it on your other social media pages. I also have a YouTube page at Mastering Me on Instagram, and my name is Ebony Tate on Facebook. And the Facebook brand group name is Mastering Me Brand. So please join, and it's gonna have this picture on the back of it. So thank you, ladies, for supporting me on my journey with my
Mhm.
brand and everything. I really love and appreciate the both of you for doing this.
This was fun.
This
It
was
was.
so
Like
much
I was
fun.
nervous, but I was like, oh, this wasn't that bad. It really was just like a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see you all next time. Enjoy your week and the rest of this weekend.